Okay, here we are with sinikka nogelo. And it's not no jello. It's not anything else. It's nogelo. In case you know, because people see it all the time. You get different pronunciations on your name?
Absolutely, and I don't mind since I'm Italian at heart, living here.
There you go. And what people probably recognize you from your time at Cape Ann TV. You're, I mean, a citizen that just about everybody knows by now. How long did you do Cape Ann TV?
29 years.
Holy
Just
mackerel.
about 30, yeah.
But what people may not know is before you ever did Cape Ann TV, you were a painter.
Right. Full time. And Cape Ann TV was to be a part-time job to help support my art career because I'm a young artist. And what do you know? I just loved it. I don't like still cameras. You're an expert at both, Joey. I never took to that, but put that video camera in my hand, and I was very, very happy. And then, as I learned the rest of the craft, and directed and worked with people in the studio, I just was really drawn to the cooperative nature of it. It was so different from doing paintings. You know, one world is so solitary, and the other is you do nothing alone, and it's just terrific. And you get to use different aspects of yourself. And what do you know, it takes so much time. Yeah. I thought I could do both, but you know, I went with the television, and now I'm back to the painting. And
so while you were working at Cape Ann TV, did you paint at all?
Yes, I did. And I adjusted what I did. For example, I was always an oil painter, and then when I was working all the time, I couldn't really do oil paintings on vacation, which was my big time to paint, right, or at the beach. So I adapted to having my beach chair be my studio, and I started doing little watercolors like the one behind me there. And that's how I got to keep it up a little, you know, and got a new medium. You know, I had taken classes with Irma once I decided to do watercolors, and after 3 sessions she said, "Oh, go away from class, you know how to paint, just use the watercolor like any other paint." And as soon as I did, I was very happy with that medium.
Now you have a couple different styles here. I mean, behind here, these are kind of you know, this is more of what do you call this type of art?
Well, I call it a collage or an assemblage. It's mostly a collage. And this has quite an interesting story. It began with the mica. I had used mica in a painting of Magnolia Beach years ago and done a stripe. And since then I've been collecting mica on my walks. I'd go on a walk and I'd get one piece of mica, and so I have a pile of mica. Finally, after all these decades, I said, well, I'd like to do a comparison between real, you know, natural shiny stuff and man-made. So I had all these containers from my cream cheese and from my yogurt, and I got a nice texture on these from one of Marty Morgan's pots, and these are my contact lens containers and muffin tins. You realize, oh, that's the kind of wine I like. You know, and here's some Hershey's Kisses. Nobody can live without silver tape.
There you go.
You know, and then these are the insides of the envelopes my prescriptions come in the mail. And then Joan Bonatti had taught Linda Sojada and I how to, you know, give us a beginning lesson in gold leaf. So I put some gold and silver leaf in there, and basically here I was just playing. You know, I actually started with an actual real concept, but this was just plain fun, and that's why it's not something I typically do. But now that I did it, I have to do more.
Right, there you go, right?
That's how art works.
That's right, right. You're pushing your boundaries. You're
well,
not
yeah,
just...
you get interested, and there you go.
We should mention that you're a guest artist here at Good Morning Gloucester Con Studio.
Oh, it's wonderful. EJ's great. You are great. I couldn't be more pleased to be part of it. This is a wonderful addition.
We had a lot of fun at the egg competition the other day, didn't we?
I told EJ yesterday I have plans for my eggs for next year.
I'm
going to enter next year.
All right, very nice, very nice. Well, let's go over here because there's a theme here.
Yeah, now this is interesting because I never liked acrylics much. I mentioned I liked oil painting, and it was basically because I was doing the kind of paintings that I do with oils, and they just don't dry the same and they're not as satisfying. Well, I started, since this year, I had not intended to actually display. I was just fooling around, finding out what I do, giving myself all kinds of freedom, which was absolutely delightful. So I started using acrylics in other ways. I did one painting and I found that I like flat. I like to do flat acrylics. But then I thought, oh, well, what else can I do? So I started splashing paint the way Pollock did, but certainly not in the same, I have different colors, and I obviously like color. And the whole thing evolved in a...
Yeah, you couldn't tell that you like color at all by looking at you.
Oh, but hey, I do have black and white and really pale blue. I guess I like all color.
That's right.
Yeah. So this thing started just as a collage, this interesting piece of paper. And I have themes. I have the ocean, sky, space, the environment, things like that. And so this was my turning the wave that I typically do horizontally, vertically. And I used this tape resist, and this is a wonderful accident that happened, where it actually bled into the tape, and I can't recreate it because the new tape won't do it.
Wow.
This was old tape.
Very cool.
Yeah. So this was covered in tape, and that I splash painted. And I got this great effect that too bad I can't get it again. And then that one, the paint bled into the tape. So that was a cool effect.
Oh man, on the camera it looks so beautiful.
Yeah, and then this was still a collage. This is actually paper. So it was one, I think this was second, and then that was third and fourth. And then after I did those, then I just wanted to see what it looked like in different colors. And of course, and you would believe it or not, this is the same series. Only now the wave is back to being horizontal. And I call that my title River Series because it's got all kinds of colors reflected in the water that might be your garden. They might be something else. That's what's nice about paintings. You can live with them and think all different things.
Right.
Yeah,
and what's nice is that for a collector, I mean, just looking at it on the wall, all of the pieces all together.
Well, now those are fun since I did a series.
Yeah.
Is that if you had a few of them, you could just turn them around,
Yeah.
rearrange them, have them wave vertical, have it horizontal.
You know what I love to hear when you talk, about yourself as an artist is how, you've grown and you're not limiting yourself into one vein. You have this piece over here, and then you have these, but it's. I think artists can relate to each other by the joy that they find in pressing themselves and forcing themselves beyond what a traditional they might have started out with. Do you find that with yourself?
Yeah, I find that I basically just like design, so I don't mind if I don't have an idea. I don't mind if I just put out my paints and start painting and see what happens, because I just like color and composition. But like I said, I have certain themes that I've had throughout my life, and then sometimes the world interferes. Yeah. Like last year they had, my first year painting full-time again, they had the oil spill.
Oh, yeah.
The BP oil spill. So I was in the middle of doing this happy stuff, and I had to paint a black painting where the fish aren't very visible, and it relates very much to the environmental stuff I had done earlier in the 80s. I had done ozone versus no zone. I had done a painting about garbage in the ocean, and it was a beautiful ocean, but the color was a little off, and it was solid because I used a palette knife, and so even though you took a beautiful picture home, it had meaning that you might go to. So I did a black one, and this is my second one in my oil spill series, and it's basically it's flat pretty much, and it's mostly a composition, but it's a little off, you know. Here's the nice clean earth and this little test tube kind of teeter-tottering, and here are the fish in various oil stages, and this is a seaweed full of oil, which happened just because I had a plastic cup next to the painting, and the sun was shining through it, and the reflection was really great.
Oh, wow.
And I said, oh, well, I'll just make that different colors, and it's going to be the seaweed. It looks really bad, and then here's the nice green earth, solid, but not really, there's the stuff seeping in.
Wow.
So even though you don't have to know that story, not all my paintings have stories like that, but I was painting actual life and how I felt about it.
Right.
But it's kind of just a neat design, but that's what it's really about.
Yeah, very cool.
And then I've got another one called, remember, don't get crude on George's Bank. And that one just didn't look nice next to anything else. It's kind of hard to hang them together when they're so different.
Yeah,
so you have to come to my studio to see that one.
Where is your studio?
At Cripple Cove.
Oh, that's right, on a Vodtech.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, you know where Joey is? Well, I'm right at the street before you go down the driveway.
I didn't know you were still there. Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, explain this one to me.
Oh, yeah, now that one. Oh, my grandson saw that and says, oh, why is that baby in jail? He was so unhappy. But when I was, it turned out to be another emotional political piece. I get a little annoyed, as many of us do, when you're sitting in the living room wanting to have a nice conversation with somebody and they're texting, or everybody is so enthralled with their toys, which are great, because I do love technology. But this is my one expression of how I emotionally feel. So it's when that's kind of thing's happening, and when people are walking down the street and not noticing this beautiful scenery, or even whether they're going to get run over or not. So I call this all wired, and I thought the baby would be a perfect metaphor, because being born into this world, just screaming.
It's all wires, all crisscross.
Yeah, that was really fun. I have 8 things of saran wrap at my house because I needed the Sharpie things to put the wire on. Right. And then I use these tacks because it makes it give that awful feeling to it, Yeah.
I see this.
Yeah. So now every single time I need some plastic wrap, my husband has to go downstairs and bring up another one to put in the only box that's got a serration.
Very nice. Now, do you also have a website?
Yes, I do. www.sinikkanogelo, sinikkanogelo.com. And don't look at it now, because there's nothing on it yet.
All right, we're going to work on that.
Yes, we are. I've only been back doing this for a year.
All right.
So I'm doing good, framing pieces and getting to be at your lovely gallery.
Yeah, you didn't talk about this one. This one's really beautiful.
Yeah, that's watercolor.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I really love the colors.
That's one of those totally fun, designy things.
Yeah.
That, obviously you don't know if it's the sky or the sea or both, and so sometimes I just rearrange those themes in different ways all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's great having you down here at the Good Morning Gloucester Con Studio Gallery. And how long are you going to be displaying till?
Till September 1st.
September 1st. So come on down and hang out. Are you what hours do you tend to come here and so people could meet you if they wanted to?
Well, I'm going to try to be here late afternoons and early evenings, particularly beginning this Friday. Mm-hmm. And then I'll be at the Mug Up, and I hope the hurricane lets us have as much fun as last
week. We're going to have a hurricane party. That's what we're going to have. Hurricane Mug Up. Yeah.
And,
did you hear that, EJ? Uh-huh. All right,
yeah,
hurricane.
And then definitely next, after the Mug Up, definitely next week until the show comes down.
Well, fantastic. Thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you, Joey. It's so fun to be interviewed by somebody, and you're a lovely interviewer.
Hey, I got good marks. Thank you.
Thank you.